bro, you should fight MMA. We'll have my brother. If you're looking for an organic vape CBD, you can go to vapebright.org and you can use a promo code finishers. You get 10% off.
I love Vape Bright.
Zach Maslany now making his way to the stage. Back to fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I wanted to give a shout out to my boy Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
He's a beast. He's a savage. Him and JM holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem. Who's doing it better than them? Very few.
Okay. From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in.
What up? Zach's Corner Volume 4. What's up, everybody? Thanks to everybody for listening to the previous podcasts. And I've been getting a lot of downloads and listens, so just want to say shout out to everybody who's been tuning in. It's pretty cool. It's mostly just going to be me talking, like I said, but I am going to have some more guests on. Thanks to my brother Paul from getting this together. He's producing this. Paul Maslany, or Maslany as they call us. My younger brother, he's been killing it for me, getting these out. Like I said, I don't really have I don't have a time frame on when I'm going to put them out. I'm just going to try to put them out, if you know what I'm saying. So, had some time today, wanted to jump on, and I'm going to change the format a little bit just for a few, well, actually, probably for a lot of different episodes, but what I want to do is, and I'm kind of stealing the swag off Joe Hogan a little bit, but he does his MMA podcast, and I'm going to do the same kind of thing. So when, instead of just the normal Zach's Corner where I just talk random stuff, I'm going to do random ones where I talk about not really just MMA, but MMA business. And, how me and JM got started, some of the things we went through, some things that may be tips for you guys if you're looking to start your own martial arts school and you're kind of on your own and you don't really have any direction. So me and JM had to kind of figure everything out on our own. Sure, we had a lot of people helping us, but decisions that we made, some of them were really good. Some of them we did make some stupid ones. And I think you guys might be interested, especially if you're a potential martial artist out there looking to open up their own martial arts school. I can show you how to do it without selling out. And selling out, just means teaching whack martial arts. And there's a lot of that going around. There aren't really that many whack martial arts schools in my area. There are, but it's not like they're a threat or anything like that. But there is your share of guys not really teaching jiu-jitsu, properly, because they have no background in it. Just kind of trying to jump on the fad, which is what everybody pretty much does. But everybody does jump on fads. I got into jiu-jitsu and I probably want to say I started grappling when I was 16. And I graduated high school when I was 18, 2001, Freedom High School Patriots. But I probably say I wouldn't have trained at an actual jiu-jitsu school. I was training my whole career. Before that, I trained at a place called Master Glacier Karate, pretty much Taekwondo. It was all point fighting. And then my karate school, Master Glacier Karate, which is kind of messed up because when that commercial, they had enough dough for a commercial on TV. Remember, the internet really wasn't huge back then, so mostly everyone found out about stuff through the newspaper or TV, and their TV ad was called Master Glacier Karate, and at the end they would be like, "You can get in shape at Master Glacier Karate." And then my friends, I didn't really have many friends when I first moved to my dad's because originally I was living at my mom's house at the time. And when I moved to my dad's house, my younger brother Paul, who produced the podcast, was already in karate. And he might have been like a white belt or something like that, or whatever the second one was, purple or yellow or something. And when I got there, I watched a couple of his classes and I was like, dang, I want to do this. And when I moved to my dad's, he threw me right into karate. And that's where I started. Like, I didn't really have much of a background in paying any attention to martial arts until I went to my dad's, which is pretty cool. From there, I started training, and then maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years in to training there. And they had a bunch of schools. Master Glazers had a bunch of karate schools up and down the East Coast. Not really the whole East Coast, but I mean like New York, New Jersey. And they had 2 in Pennsylvania. One was over Lehigh Valley Mall area by the place that I take my dog Merlot to, Banfield Hospital or whatever it's called. It's not Banfield. It's a Petco, but they have a dog place. They have a little place that they take care of dogs inside, a little hospital area, so you can go all in one. Last time I took the dog over there, my fiance was working, so I had to take the dog over. And next to it is a place that's open, so I'm thinking about calling over there and seeing how much they want for that place. But another place to rent, maybe open up another school. I don't know. I'm just talking shit, but we're always looking into opportunities. I call like every place, by the way. But anyways, Master Glazers was over there, and there was one in Bethlehem, which now became Tiger Schulman's Karate. So Tiger Schulman bought out Master Glazer. Again, not really a big internet presence back then. It's probably like 1999, maybe. I want to say. Yeah, I would say like 99 or 98. Tiger Schulman's was a lot worse than, not worse, but a lot harder, I would say. A lot worse with the sparring is what I meant than Master Glazer. Master Glazer was point fighting. Still, people still hit. Yeah, I still got kicked in the ribs a bunch. I still got punched by accident, but mostly point fighting. And then Tiger Schulman's was like continuous sparring, so it was a bit different. Those guys were already kickboxers. They already had grappling experience. And funny story is when Master Glazers first was in the process of turning to Tiger Schulman, and I guess, I thought it was like a rivalry or some shit like that, but turns out Master Glazer and Tiger Schulman are friends. See, that's kind of like how it is behind the scenes. You think guys don't like each other, whatever it is. Actually, the dudes are friends, and, maybe, who knows? I don't know. Maybe Mark Glazer made some bad business deals. Tiger Schulman decided to buy him out. Maybe Mark Glazer owed him money. Maybe Tiger Schulman had some dirt on Glazer. I don't know, right? I have no idea, but probably a legit business deal. You have to look into it, but when Tiger took over, I remember they sent over dudes like Karate Kid style. And like, I was just like a green belt or some shit like that. I was like just getting into doing grappling because Tiger Schulman's Master Glazer really didn't do much grappling. They figured you don't need the groundwork. You'll just distracting back fist and then, snapping roundhouse, inside crescent kick to the head. But they never really did much groundwork until Tiger Schulman showed up and they were like, yo, bro, listen, we got a little rivalry going on in New York with Renzo Gracie. We need to keep our shit together. We need to learn grappling too. No idea how Tiger started with the grappling and how they got into it, but I have no idea. But when we converted over, I remember 3 dudes came over to try to kick our ass. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think who the third guy was. Might have been Amir Galami. He was like one of the highest ranking dudes. That was in Tiger Schulman's at the time, I think, or even eventually before he left. And then I know my friend John Robinson was there. Oh, no. Yeah, John Robinson was there. He current owner of Lanky Fight Gear, which is pretty cool. And that's kind of how we met. He came over and kicked the shit out of us. And also, I'm pretty sure I forget who else was there from the actual school. I'd have to ask my buddy Jim Garzillo, still running Tiger Schulman's out in Abington, Pennsylvania. It used to be Willow Grove, but now he's in Abington, PA. One of my best friends of all chimey, James Garzillo. He probably doesn't listen to us, maybe, but he might have been there. I know friggin' Kurt Corriere might have been there, and you probably don't know any of these guys. That's okay. And also, Frank Chikagan was there. And Frank Chikagan's actually the brother of current UFC. I think she's in the bantamweight division, 135. Her name is Caitlin Chikagan. She's currently fighting in the UFC, brown belt under Renzo, I believe. So shout out to Caitlin. JM, her used to be training partners back in the day. When we were at Tiger Schulman, she came up through there too. It's really cool to see her in the UFC. See Frank doing good. See Jim still running the school. Robinson's training. He's a brown belt. And he also owns Lanky Fight Gear, like I said. So anyways, Tiger Schulman's, they had their deal with, the cool thing about them is they introduced, more katas. which was cool at the time. You know, they were really crazy into board breaking. Tiger Schulman's had so much dough, bro. Like, and he's rich AF right now. He's got schools up to ass, maybe like 50, 60 of them. They were in Florida, friggin' New Jersey. Every other block in New Jersey is another one. Long Island, mad places. And they started putting out legit dudes. Like back in the day, people still made fun of Tiger Schulman's. And to this day, even though I'm not, I don't train at Tiger Schulman's anymore. I got a lot of friends, Nick Pace, obviously me and JM are from there. Like I said, James Garzillo, and there's tons of dudes, Dubose, the Stein, the Johnson brothers. I don't know who's still in it. Shannon Maceo. I know there's a lot of guys, Torelli. I know so many dudes from there. Jimmy Rivera. They're all, and then how can I forget my old sensei, one of my first senseis ever, Sensei V, Big Villafane, gave me a job for many years. And, he showed me the ropes. And one thing I will say about Sensei V too is he was one of the real dudes, because he actually went in jiu-jitsu tournaments back in the day, being an older dude, starting grappling late, got into it, used to wear the short bad boy tights. And he beat mad dudes. I mean, he didn't have to do that. He was already a sensei and decided, fuck it, I'm going to train and get in there. And he did an awesome job. I got to say, he's still in our area. He's still killing it as far as I can see. Grace started training at that Tiger Schulman's with Sensei V first. And he really did teach me how to work hard. He taught me how to get up in the morning and train and, get your shit together. And he kept me accountable all those years that I fought with them. So, and he birthed a lot of stuff that I did, taking me places and everything. So, and that's what your sensei's supposed to be for. That's how he's supposed to get you going, So shout out to Sensei V, Sensei Simpson, freaking, there's tons of dudes. But anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, Tiger Schulman's, but they introduced us to a whole bunch of stuff, the grappling, the MMA aspect of it. So I started competing in those tournaments. Started competing in MMA, or not MMA, but they're called the Challenge of Champions. They still have it. So I only did one as a lower belt, I think, and it was just all stand up, and it just looked like a brawl. To be honest with you, I mean, there wasn't much technique going down because you got small gloves and you're hitting to the body. I mean, there was technique, but dudes are just wailing each other and just eating shots to the arms because you couldn't hit to the head. Controlled kicks to the head, my ass. You know what I mean? You got kicked to the head. So, But eventually, when I got my black belt in Tiger Schulman's, I was 16, and then I could fight at, I think I was 16 or 17. I know I got it, JM and John Morgan Kimmock. Those two goons got their black belt the time before me, but I didn't get my black belt because I didn't break the boards or something like that. So I waited, then I kicked everyone's ass the next time, but then I got my black belt with Mike Fortes and a bunch of guys, Seth and Lauren Weiss. And so those are just shout out to all those guys, original training partners. Actually, those guys were kids. What the hell am I talking about? But the cool thing about that continuous sparring was it was like an MMA fight. It really was an MMA fight, but you couldn't punch to the head. You could only hit to the body. So you could do takedowns. You could do grappling for a minute. If you got the match to the ground, or if you did a takedown, you could basically slam dudes on the mat. They didn't really give a shit about slams as long as you weren't spiking the guy in his neck. But so many people got fucking slammed. It was crazy, but surprised more people didn't get hurt, and people did get hurt, to be honest with you. But so someone, you could slam the guy, take him down, take the back, and then you had a minute. If you could choke him out or something, that was good. And that was my strategy for a lot of the matches. Eventually, once I realized that a lot of the guys weren't as good as jiu-jitsu, or grappling, I should say, as me, because I didn't learn it from a specific thing. I kind of was just teaching myself at the time. And, and like I said, whatever Sensei V brought to me, and he was looking up videos and shit at the time. But I would take dudes down. I would try to grapple them, except that the guy was a wrestler and I have a hard time submitting him. And then, you could kick and punch, and I try to mix it all up, and it got really fun. It got me a lot of good experience. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today on this podcast was getting experience before, a lot of guys come in, being that me and JM, started our school. 10th Planet, but we also decided to call the Finishers MMA because me and JM both come from an MMA background. That's why we got into no gi instead of doing gi, and I know a lot of gi guys are going to freak out right now, but I really don't think it's important to train the gi if you plan on doing MMA. A lot of famous people have said that. You can argue me until the cows come home on that, but it would be like training. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Get your technique tighter. I feel like it does keep things tighter when you wear a gi, but I feel like you have to keep your technique tighter in no gi because of the person being slippery and being so much room to wiggle out. So I feel like you learn to use tighter techniques in no gi, but whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're doing jiu-jitsu, good for you. No gi, but listen, I'm not gonna, if I'm training for an MMA fight, I'm not gonna throw a gi on, really, maybe once a week or something like that, but I'm for an MMA fight, and Eddie had told me this once, if you're training for an MMA fight, what a lot of you guys don't realize is you're not wearing a rash guard, you're wearing shorts, you're not wearing tights. When you start off an amateur, you have to wear the shin pads and stuff, but which is annoying, and we'll talk about that, but really you want to train a lot of the times how you're going to fight. You want to wear the gloves and get used to putting submissions on, rear naked chokes, darces, all that shit is different. All your grips, how hard you can hold someone's wrist, if you have small hands and the glove is big. Like, there's a lot of small shit going on. So you really want to practice with the gloves on. You also want to practice sometimes with no shirt on, your partner not having a shirt on, because neither guy has a shirt on in the fight. And once it gets sweaty, man, it's hard to hold on. So maybe you get in the third round, you're looking for a back take and there's blood and sweat. All of a sudden, you fly off. You want to get used to that. You got to prepare for slippage is what I'm saying. Always be prepared for slippage, because you don't have the luxury of being able to hold on to someone's sleeve or collar or gi. Like, I wouldn't dress up in a clown outfit and wrestle in a clown outfit before, with the nose and the wig and the whole thing. I wouldn't dress up in a clown outfit and grapple and fight in a clown outfit, knowing that I'm not going to wear that clown outfit when I go to fight. So again, gi guy's going to freak out. My apologies. A lot of my friends train gi, and I plan on this. I'm going to my buddy Sean Green's wedding out in California. And when I do that, I'm staying 2 days in Malibu. I will be taking my gi along. You heard it here first. Zach's podcast, Corner Podcast, use Zach's Corner. You know what the hell it's called. And I'll be doing some gi over at John Jock's in Malibu. And, it's not that I won't do gi at your school. I just find it pointless for me, which I don't train gi. But since I am going to John Jock's, I respect him, and I respect, John Jock Machado so much as a grappler and a person. I just love the way he carries himself, and I'm trying to be more like him every day. And, John Jock, if he wants me to wear the gi, you wear the gi, all right? And he doesn't even make us wear the gi. I just feel like, I'll throw it on there for them, like, especially if it's a gi class and I'm the only, fool over there with, tights on that have like, a gun on the side of it, and and then I have like a rash guard on. I just don't want to. I'd rather just wear the gi when I go to John Jock's. All right, so whatever. And anyways, yeah, but that's why I fell into 10th Planet, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to stick with MMA. And I felt like I'm a huge fan. And I also felt that I can, as a jiu-jitsu guy and someone who got really into jiu-jitsu as of late, and also had previous MMA experience, I could help a lot of new guys get into the sport, and I didn't know where me and JM would be able to take it. He's got a bunch of fights too, and we love the fights and we love breaking them down. So why not? If we're starting a jiu-jitsu school, we may as well jump into MMA at the same time. So we did. Now, finally, after all these stories, after 20 minutes of stories, I'm finally going to tell you guys what I'm thinking for dudes who want to break into MMA. Like, you're coming to me as a new guy, or you're coming to anyone as a new guy saying, hey, listen, I want to or maybe you've been training jiu-jitsu for a year or something like that, and you're like, I want to fight MMA. That's my goal. I'm showing up. I'm going to fight Conor McGregor. Whatever it is you're thinking, you're a new guy. You want to get into MMA. So the reason why I told those stories is because Tiger Schulman's really had a great idea and a good setup, and I'm pretty sure they still train the guys like this, which is really important. They have a great setup for getting MMA fighters to break in. I mean, how many guys have they had in UFC? 6, 7, 8, 9? I don't know. And how many guys started training at Tiger Schulman's, then eventually went somewhere else and continued fighting MMA, a la Caitlin Chikagan, Uriah Hall. There's a bunch of dudes, right? And they've had guys, Bellator champions too, right? I'm pretty sure Lyman Good won that tournament. They got, like I said, Jimmy Rivera, Nick Pace been in Bellator, Louis Gaudino, Mike Trezano just won the Ultimate Fighter, perfect example. This guy's the man. So I did a little commentating with Trezano for Maverick MMA. But So, and I'm pretty sure Trezano did this. Even, back in the day, it was the same way. Me, one of my best friends, Jim Garzillo, I was talking about him, John Robinson. We wanted to fight MMA. We wanted to do it too. So what they did was, I kind of got jumped ahead because an opportunity came for me with an injury. So I got to do an MMA fight a little bit sooner than everybody else. Maybe just one event sooner. But my friend John Robinson, owner of Lanky, he did the first kickboxing fight maybe out of all of us. I'm pretty sure he went against a guy because he had the time to train for it. He's still a killer, but he was a killer back in the day with them long ass legs, us beating the piss out of each other's head, boxing, which is, we now know, not the greatest way to train. But what happened was, we're training just like everybody, just like every guy trying to get MMA. You're starting, if you're starting out from scratch, obviously you want to do a couple years of training first. If you come to me with a wrestling experience, then that's something different. We could talk about that too. But if you're just starting out, you want to train your striking and you want to train your grappling, and you also got to train your wrestling, right? So I would start off, if I'm starting from super scratch, I would just jump into kickboxing class, jump into boxing class, especially if you're training at our school. We got a Muay Thai night. We got a guy who's Steve's Golden Gloves boxer teaching. We got a pro MMA fighter now teaching Wednesdays, Alec Cuban. So like you got all these different guys, and you could pick one you like, or come twice a week. Start off learning how to strike. Start off learning how to box, how to move your head, how to throw punches, how to throw kicks. There's so much stuff going on that. Then on top of that, you got to start learning jiu-jitsu, which is a whole nother thing. If you're just starting out, you don't have to worry about leg locks so much, but you're going to want to learn, offense, defense, sweeps, the positions, all that shit, which is really hard to do. It takes a long time. So, you got to, if you come with wrestling experience, like I said, it's a little bit different. Now you just need to add some, start adding some subs, start adding, some positions that you're not normally used to, like someone's on your back, someone's on top of you. Like in a mount, like, so you don't make mistakes that wrestlers do when they first start doing jiu-jitsu, because it leads right into jiu-jitsu. But if you can, point out those, those small things, those gaps in there, and start closing them off very soon, then, a guy who comes to me with wrestling experience, I'm willing to give you a shot, maybe a year or two into training, or a year and a half into training with me. I'm willing to give you more of a shot to fight an MMA fight, because you already have competed a bunch of times and you already have a solid base. Now, if your striking is half decent and you start getting comfortable doing that, you might be able to get into an MMA fight a little bit sooner. But mainly what Tiger did is they would start you off in a kickboxing match, right? You got to start training, obviously, so you got to do all those things. But they start you off in a kickboxing match, and they start you off in jiu-jitsu tournament. Jiu-jitsu tournament might be a little bit easier at first. You find yourself a local sub-only tournament, maybe like the Finisher Sub-Only Open, or there's even the Good Fight is a good one to start off. But start doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, man. Start jumping into those, and just getting experience rolling. Getting experience going 100% on another guy. Like, some guys want to just jump right into MMA. Are you crazy? Right? What? You never even done a jiu-jitsu match? Have you never even done a wrestling match? Oh my God, you got work to do. So you need to start in jiu-jitsu matches. And just feel what it's like to roll. Feel what it's like to have dudes going for submissions. Feel what it's like to be tired and still have to keep pushing. You can't quit, because in an MMA fight, if you quit, you get your friggin' ass kicked, And if you tap out, well, dude, if you're tapping out to just being tired, that's not good, right? You'll get hurt. And I don't want to see you get hurt, because I love you. I love you guys, right? So you got to start getting into those matches and learn. Doesn't matter if you get tapped. Drop the ego and just go in there and do it as many times as possible. Get as much experience as possible competing. You have to compete at your level, so it's not like you're going to be facing black belts or, dudes ripping heel hooks off on you immediately. You start at your level and just get the experience. Get some wins under your belt. How do you plan on winning an MMA fight? You never even freaking choked anyone out before, man. You got to hit a guillotine. You got to hit a rear naked choke. Get out of an arm bar. Be in danger. Escape. Get a takedown. Like, you're going to take some down in a fight when dudes are kicking and punching at you, and you've never even hit a takedown before? Come on. Shout out to Theo Von. Dude's killing it, right? I'm talking like Theo Von. But also, so jiu-jitsu tournament should be easy. That's your start. That might be the easier one to get started. I mean, get your ass kicked a couple of times, but not a big deal. After that, or while you're doing that, if you got to be training striking too, you can't just do one or the other, because you want to fight MMA. You're a tough guy. So now you also got to start kickboxing and boxing, right? So I would start in, find your local amateur kickboxing matches. and start getting on those cards. Be like, coach, if it's not me that's your coach, or like if I'm not paying attention or some shit, and you really want to fight MMA, come to me and say it. Because I'm not going to be like, unless you're like amazing talent, I'm not going to be like, bro, you should fight MMA. You got to want to do it, right? I can't convince you. You have to want to do it. You have to come to me, and you can't be bullshitting either. You got to want to actually do it. Start fighting kickboxing matches. If you start doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, even if I can't be there because I know we're busy, and there's freaking a million tournaments and I'm competing too. If I can't be there, ask one of the higher belts to go, right? Oh, the higher belts can't go? Take your girlfriend, well, maybe not take your girlfriend, take one of your buddies, find someone from the school. You're training, you're going to competition, get someone to go with you just to yell shit at you. And like I said, who cares if you lose? But if you start doing that and you start telling me you want to do a kickboxing, or you just sign up for the Golden Gloves and start doing that and then actually train for it, well, goddamn, now you're really starting to make moves, right? You're showing me, okay, I really want to fight MMA, but I got to get experience first. And that's the best way to get experience without getting experience, You know how they are, and like a job will tell you, like, yeah, we want you to have a degree. And then you're like, okay, cool, I got the degree. You go for the job, and they're like, well, you need 2 years experience. Well, how the hell am I supposed to get experience? It doesn't make any sense, right? Jobs want people with experience. So it is what it is. In MMA, why would you want to step in not knowing what the hell you're doing, right? Like Joe Rogan says, you're about to engage in a fist fight with another guy who's trained for this and probably has those things I was talking about. He's probably done some sort of striking match before where you're actually seeing punches and kicks come at your head. And he's probably been in a jiu-jitsu match or at least wrestled in high school or college, right? If the guy's going into amateur MMA and he wrestled in college and your jiu-jitsu sucks and you have zero wrestling, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to lose a lot of fights. You're going to get taken down and get the crap kicked out of you, right? So you need to figure all that out, right? I wouldn't even talk about wrestling. I think at least once or twice a week, if you haven't wrestled, or if you did wrestle, you need to be wrestling. You need to be working wall work. You need to be up there. But like I said, first things first, kickboxing matches, I'm getting ahead of myself. Kickboxing matches, jiu-jitsu tournaments. Do that for a year. Oh, I'm 28. I'm too old. Bullshit. Do that for a year straight. See if your body can handle it. See if you can push through the training. Do one every 6-8 weeks. Every month. Every other month. There are guys that compete every other freaking weekend out here. It's crazy. If you start doing that, you do that for a year, you get a couple in. Like I said, maybe if you wrestled in high school or you wrestled, you were a really good wrestler in, high school or college. And, you start doing a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments, you get 1 or 2 striking matches. I might just be like, the hell with it. Let's go. Let's see what you can do, right? I got one guy, Artist. I think it's Martial Artist 610 or something like that on Instagram if you want to check out. Artist, he wrestled for Liberty, wrestled in high school. I'm pretty sure he wrestled for Liberty. Yeah, he wrestled for Liberty. What the hell am I talking about? I rolled with him a couple of times, and he's a beast. He's a big dude. He's thick. His wrestling is really good, so he can take people down. So I'm comfortable with him with that. He's about to compete in the finisher sub only coming up August 12th, and I'm pumped up for that because he's going to get experience. I don't care if he wins or loses. Let's see how he looks. If he gets his butt kicked, which I don't think he will. If he gets his butt kicked, then he might in his mind go, oh, maybe I don't want to do MMA yet. I want to get some more experience. Or if he just crushes 3 dudes or 2 dudes, however many is in his division, then we might go, hey, man, we're on to something here. You're looking pretty good, right? You're putting it together already in live roll. I mean, okay, all right, this guy's got some spunk, if you will. So then we go to a kickboxing match, right? And I want to get him, I told him about this, but I want to get him a boxing match or a kickboxing match, right? He's been coming in the mornings and stuff. I hear, and he's training at night. Is he being more is because his job blows, but he's doing the best he can. And I want to make sure when we get closer to the fight, or if we do pick a fight for him locally, which I want to in the next year for sure, I think he should do a kickboxing match or 2 in between. Like I said, I don't care if he wins, but let's see if he would go out there in the match and be turning his head and taking shots and not throwing back or kind of clamming up. Then obviously, he's not ready for an MMA fight yet. I want him to get more experience. I don't want him to get knocked out. Artist, my boy, he's my man. So, but like I said, he's on the right path, and he's doing it like exactly he said. I'm going to listen to you, blah, blah, blah. And that's cool. I really appreciate when the guys believe in me and JM, and that's how it goes. I think that's the best bet. So if you're like a potential guy wanting to get in MMA, that's your goal right there. Jiu-jitsu tournaments and kickboxing/boxing matches, right? And you just make sure if who's ever your coach is that's setting up the kickboxing or boxing match, you get someone with equal experience. You want to fight at your weight. You don't have to fight at your, the MMA weight, but let's say you're 187 right now, right? And you've been eating Cheerios, you've been eating Oreos, and you've been eating crap, and your diet stinks. I bet you if you turned up your sprints, start running some sprints, start hitting the pavement, start doing some cardio, and putting in that one extra workout a week or something like that, I bet you by the time the kickboxing match comes, you could probably make 175. Let's say you never cut weight before. Maybe you want to try to tell the guy 175. It'd be better if he was 170, but maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you just drop down to 175, do a kickboxing match against a guy who's 0-0, no kickboxing fights, or maybe you find a guy that's 0-1. All right. He had a bad experience, but you know what? He's going to want to come back hard at this one. It'll be good experience, right? But the guy's only got one fight, right? You just make sure you're matched up evenly. Same thing with jiu-jitsu tournaments. Don't try to go an expert yet. You knucklehead, just go in white, blue belt, or whatever the hell you're in, and just beat a bunch of guys. Oh, you're that good? You want to go an expert? Like, I remember a bunch of guys that were like purple belts at the time when I was competing, and it really threw me off because I went to, I flew all the way out to Vegas, and I wanted to compete against, the best purple belts in 10th Planet, and a bunch of guys that were purple belts won in the black belt division. And I was like, come on. That's what Theo Von does on his podcast. He doesn't say, come on. He says, come on. But anyways, yeah, it's like, why would you go, oh, well, we want to be able to do heel hooks. And it's like, dude, listen, just compete in a freaking division you're supposed to be in for now, and that would be good for you because we would have saw the best guys. But a bunch of guys jumped up, and it's neither here nor there right now. It doesn't matter. That I feel like sometimes that's like, well, I should be an expert, bro. I should be in the, dude, just do whatever. If you're that good, then just wash everybody in the regular division. And then if you would have, I would have took a picture next to you and be like, yo, dog, this guy's the man. But just stay in your lane. Work your way up. That's what I'm saying. Stay in your lane, right? I'm staying in my lane till it opens up. I'm like a sponge in a game, just soaking up. That's some Jada Kiss freestyle for you. But yeah, so stay in your lane, do your thing, do the research, and start getting yourself some matches. Man, listen, what would you think it would be like if you went into an MMA fight with 25 grappling matches already under your belt and 4 kickboxing matches, and you were 2-2? Okay, I think you'd be pretty good going into a local MMA fight, fighting another guy that's 0-0 or something like that. 2 guys making their debut, or you go against another guy who's got like 1 fight or something like that, right? Or 2 fights. I think you'd be well better served doing that than the opposite, right? I commentate the local MMA fights here for Maverick MMA. And I see a lot of guys that are just starting out. The main events, the guys always have had experience, as it gets deeper in the card. But in the beginning, you get a lot of people making their debuts, and I see how amateur they are. And they're supposed to be amateur, but I really see how amateur they are is what I'm saying. Like, they look like they've never been hit before. They're afraid to commit. Nothing happens for 3 rounds. The guy has no idea what to do with a takedown. The guy's giving up his back on the ground all the time, just doing really amateur-like stuff. And not that you won't do that, but it's better to have that experience first. It's like you're showing up to the job interview and you have like a secret that no one else does that's going to get you the job. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you be more prepared than less prepared? So when most people come into me and they say, Zach, I want to do an MMA fight, JM probably won't even talk to you. He'll probably just laugh in your face, right? And I might too in the beginning. If you come in and that's what you're trying to fight in like 6 months or something like that, we're probably going to laugh at you. It's going to be like that Diaz brothers meme where we're just looking at the new guy, looking about all his fighting experience. Like, bro, not at our place, right? And I don't think it's safe to do it at any other place. Sometimes people are crazy. Like, people are nuts. Maybe you had an extensive college wrestling career and you're insane like Thad Frick, and you decided, hey, I'm just going to start doing MMA now. And it's worked, it worked out for him in some of his fights. He is able to take that experience. But Thad has also worked really hard, on his grappling. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu now, and he never did any stand-up fights, but, he's just such a good wrestler that he could handle himself. And I was nervous of him going pro too, even though he's 5-0 AMI, won a title, went pro. I mean, I was nervous, but Thad had a lot of experience that other people didn't, so if you're coming in with no wrestling experience, Whew. Yeah, your career might be like mine, where you just get taken down at will, and you have to play guard. Luckily, I had a decent guard that I could keep myself alive, and I hit. I triangled the guy. That was a long time ago, but my last 2 fights, I was exchanging pretty well with the guys when I was on my back, even when I was jammed up against the cage. But that's not how you want to fight MMA, bro. I was trying to prove a point, and I'm also crazy. I would want to go in and have the ability to stop takedowns, take people down, stand the fight, get the fight back to my feet if I need to, if I'm the better stand-up fighter. So there's so much stuff that goes into it. But I hope some of that made sense. Like I said, I'm going to throw these up every now and then, but I wanted to do that. Like I said, some of them is going to be for business stuff too. Some of them will be like, I'll talk about how me and JM got started, some of the programs that we use online. I'm going to start giving my 2 cents, and then, who knows, maybe one day I'll be doing consulting like, Alan Belcher, one of these guys, where you could just call me up, and me and JM will come down to your spot with a couple of the goons like John Taffer and be like, this food is raw. There's a horse in the bar. Like, he comes in and just, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about Bar Rescue used to be one of my favorite shows. Me and my buddies used to watch that. I live with them, and we used to watch that. And John Taffer, I'd get ready for that one. John Taffer would come in and flip out on the bar owners. And it was because people were doing stupid stuff. And, I've been to a lot of seminars. I've been to Florida, Cali. I've been all over the place. And I like to train at different jiu-jitsu schools because it kind of scares me when I go in there. Like, I get that butterflies in my stomach. Like, oh, shit, I'm going into another school. I got to go roll with dudes. And I find that there's a lot of really good stuff that I've learned from so many different people by going in other schools. But then I've also seen a lot of shit that you do not want happening at your MMA or jiu-jitsu school. And I can speak from experience on it. A lot of guys don't want to give away their secrets. I'm not going to give all of them. You'd have to pay for that. Like I said, maybe I could do some consulting. John Tafford, I'll come in and it'll be like MMA Gym Rescue. I know they had that for a while where, Randy Couture and Frank Shamrock. Didn't someone like attack Frank Shamrock or something like that? I'll have to look it up. But hey, I'd be into doing something like that. We'll come down, teach a seminar, and I just give you advice. And I'm not saying that any of it works, because every place is different. But maybe me just throwing some tips out here helps me get the word out, helps me get my name out, helps me get the podcast going more. So, and I want to do more stuff like this. I want to involve more people and just keep blowing shit up. So, potential MMA guys, if you know anybody out there that's struggling or don't know what they're doing, tell them to hit me up, or send this podcast to them. Guys who are saying, I might, if you're sitting around with your boys and you're watching a UFC fight and you're tanking beers and your buddy leans back and goes, you know what? I could do this. And he's 20 years old, and, maybe he's 24, even 25, but he wrestled. Maybe he wrestled for Kutztown or something, and he did really well. Bang. You turn him on to this podcast, and let's get him going. Maybe he's not from this area. I don't care where you're from. Maybe you're from Idaho or Texas or Zimbabwe, wherever you're at. Find it and listen to it. Share, subscribe if you can. Appreciate it, and let's see if we can make some really, really good fighters. But I think going in there with experience and coming at them, like I said, going into a job interview with the most experience, you're probably going to get that job, if you know what I'm saying. So once again, thank you guys for listening. Hope I didn't stutter or mumble too much, but if you want to talk to me, you can hit me up on Instagram at Zach Maslany. Same thing on Facebook. I don't really check my Facebook messages as much because they're getting a little overloaded. You can also email us at finishersjujitsu.com. Those of you guys looking for CBDs, you can check out my sponsor that I've been with them for a while now. They sponsor me. They sponsor a couple of guys. They're vapebright.org, and it's the best. I feel like the best vapable, is that even a thing? Vapable CBD on the market. It's all organic. There's nothing weird in it. It's not flavored. It has a good taste. I'm not going to lie. I like the taste, but it's not flavored. It's not like, CBD's wedding cake, CBD's grape ape or whatever. It's not flavored with any bullshit in it. It's all organic. Check it out. Vapebright.org. If you use the promo code FINISHERS, you get 10% off. A lot of people that I know have, gotten help by CBDs, helps with anxiety, help people quit smoking because they're able to use that, help you sleep at night, headaches, freaking inflammation is the main thing. So check it out, vaperite.org, promo code finishers. Also, if you guys are looking for more information on the tournament that we're throwing, yes, that's right, people. I'm hustling out here. Us and Show the Art, so the Finisher Squad combining with Show the Art, Abe and Marcos. Shout out to Abe, just received his black belt from Marcos Duarte. We'll have my brother. And those guys right there, those guys are the man helping us create the sub-only scene here on the East Coast. And which is, if they're not going to give us opportunities, we'll create them ourselves. It's a beautiful thing. It's an awesome thing we're doing, and I love it. And we don't make that much money off it, but I will be making some money off the open tournament finally, which is cool because I think overall I probably lost, $500,000, $2,000 maybe, I don't know, somewhere around that area. I've lost that just having these sub-only tournaments, but I don't care because I'm in it for the long haul, son. When it's finishers 69 or finishers, 54 going down, then I'm going to be super pumped and we'll all look back and it'll be dope. But I got more ideas too. Had a meeting with a potential investor yesterday on possibly throwing a tournament, which it's not going to be called the Finishers or anything. It's like a different off branch, but it's a do or die tournament. It'd be submission only, obviously, and more cash is basically it. Maybe not EBI rules. We got some interesting rules, might reinvent the wheel, but the hell with it. I want to do that. Let's see that. Go to finisherjujitsu.com. That is all the info about the Finishers tournament, who's in it, the super fights. We didn't release the 155 division yet, but we talked about it on the Finishers podcast. So, I'm just grinding out here. I'm getting in shape myself for a match. I got 2 matches coming up. I'm going to be I have a undercard match along with our student Grace Gundrum and John Blank, a.k.a. Thor, at the Kasai Pro 3, probably the biggest jiu-jitsu card of the summer for sure. They got all the big names, Rich Byrne pulling out, and Holtz Gracie pulling out the pocketbook, getting Craig Jones in, Paul Harris, and all these different dudes, Johnny Grippo, John Calstein, Ashley Williams, Frank Rosenthal. That's going to be sick. That's the weekend after the Finishers tournament, so that's August 18th, August 11th, and 12th for this Finishers tournament. That's the underground, the above ground Kasai. I'm on that card. I'm promoting one, jumping on another one. The hell with it. I'm facing a guy from Craig Jones's camp. I've been talking with him on Instagram, so seems like a really cool dude. Looks strong as shit. I'm out here taking tough matches. I'm not trying to fight dudes in basketball shorts, but this dude's a beast. He won his last match, tossed a dude on his head. So I think it's Michael or Macau, Yaya. So I'm excited to throw it down with him. I got to cut the 140. I'm crazy. Also, what's going on? So that's at Kasai Pro 3. I was going to tell you guys something else. So if anyone wants tickets to that, I have them at the school, or just DM me. I'll send it to you with a free prize, like I said, on my Instagram. So I'm excited for that. I'm just doing everything, man, trying to stay true to the game. And then I'll be competing at the High Rollers tournament in California. So I'm feeling really blessed right now. I'm really trying to get in shape. I'm doing yoga. I'm running sprints. I'm freaking doing swim sprints. Luckily, I was already in shape, but I feel pretty good. I was taking some time off, my back being jacked up. I'm getting a massage every Tuesday. My beautiful fiance is cooking for me all the time, so I'm eating healthy. I cut out a bunch of stupid shit. So listen to the previous podcast. We can talk about some stuff. Yeah, if you guys have any questions on me, like I said, just hit me up, and I appreciate everything, and I'll be dropping more knowledge soon. So thank you guys. Over and is out. Peace.
Beautycounter.com/Catherine Beck, or you can check out my own personal website, blog. I've got some Beauty Counter essential oils, recipes up on there. Lifewithcat.net, CAT for cat.
If you're looking for an organic vape CBD, you can go to vapebrite.org and you can use a promo code finishers. You get 10% off.
I love Vape
Yeah.
Bright. Now, for only $6 a month, you can get inside access at finishersmma.tv. Just like if you were training at 10th Planet Bethlehem yourself. There will be approximately 1 class each week filmed and uploaded to the site, along with extra technique videos being uploaded all the time and any seminars that Bethlehem hosts. For $6 a month, you can get access, or if you're looking for bigger deals, there's 2 discount packages. You can pay $30 for 6 months, which gets you 1 month for free, or $50 for a whole year, which amounts to 3 full months free. So go to finishersmma.tv now and get access today.